Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. We're going to talk about Harmony. If you're new to cryptocurrency and you want to learn more, subscribe, hit that bell button and press all notifications. Leave a thumbs up as well if you are liking my previous content. So let's talk about Harmony. One very interesting solution that I like the idea of. I'm pretty skeptical when it comes to blockchains in terms of their usage and their purpose. And Harmony is that sort of one where it kind of drifts between a real full-on use case and kind of a good purpose that may never take off. But I think it will do well. I think in terms of traditional systems, what we have is issues. We see it all the time, all over the place, certainly in the UK. And I want to highlight some elements of this blockchain which makes it pretty awesome. So we're going to get into it. We're going to look at the chart as well to see what's happened with IEOs and why they're all pumping. I'm going to go over throughout this video other IEOs on Binance and why they could be a really good money maker if you're clever with your timing and understand your entry. So wait out for that one. I will do that towards the end. But let's talk about Harmony. Let's get started. Right, so what's happened with Harmony, okay? It came out on the 1st of June, publicly, as in you can buy it. 4 AM, 1st of June. I missed it. I missed the boat completely not in an A position on this. But I want to talk about it because it's doing very, very well. And I want to highlight issues, why people are getting burnt, why people are not kind of targeting good entries and not obviously doing research. Now, a lot of people now are starting to see Binance as a bit of a pump and dump sort of thing. It's not. It's just a lot of people interested in what Binance are genuinely doing, and it creates price pumps and price reactions. It's like back in 2017 in the ICO stages, whenever a coin went out, it would pop up, it would come down, and it would go again. Happened with so many different coins, and lots of coins did that, and they made a lot of money, and ultimately made me a lot of money over that period of time. Starting to see the same resemblances now, so start looking at these IEOs if I'm going to give you a tip. So let's look at Harmony now. This data is not the greatest because it's kind of brand new on, coin market cap, so the circulating supply is a bit off. Volume won't be 100% because it's only on certain exchanges, but ultimately you've got to wait for this data to come in. So currently it's doing very, very well. When I was looking at buying this, it was about 200. Okay, now I was like, I'm not buying that. It's too high. That was already up by 70-80% at the time of me going, oh. I put it on my watch list in the premium channel, and yeah, it's just disappeared to the moon. But whatever opportunity you see, there's always new ones. So let's look at the chart first. Now, the first day I was looking at getting into this at literally this region. As soon as I got up, I looked and thought, oh my god, what has happened here? And it literally, open price was roughly around this region, quite low. I'm not 100% sure what the IEO price was of the lottery, but when I was looking at buying it, it was like this. It was literally like that. It was like up 83% for the last 24 hours. It's like, I'm not touching that. That is, no, FOMO, no. Yeah, what happened? It went all the way up. It obviously came back down. So if I look at where, just to kind of give you an idea, it went all the way to the top. It came down by 30%, then it just carried on. So a 30% retracement from the top, and off we go again. And it's cataclysmic. If I got that 200 sat entry or whatever it was, I would be up nearly 100%. It's crazy when you think about it. Considerable, emotions kind of get the better of you. So don't be afraid to take a punt, but always have a stop loss and understand the risk that what goes up does come back down, and we're sitting there 30% drop. Off it went again. This will come down. This will definitely come down. We've seen it with Matic. We've seen it with the other ones, the Seller, the Feta, all that kind of Fetch, whatever. Feta or whatever it's called these days. So I'll go through them in a bit towards the end of the video. Okay, so I want to show you my tactic with IEOs and why you should be looking at the developments only and what they're doing. Matic, I did a video on it yesterday. Check it out. Trust me, it's a good one. Now, back to this one. The supply is pretty high. That's all I want to mention on this. And again, we've seen the price pump. Okay, markets wise, it's only on Binance. Binance really. It's on every single pairing, which also helps, gives a nice bit of flexibility to the investor. So, what is it now? I'm going to start with the technology page first because I like this page. I think it's nice and clear. I'm going to go to the home page in a bit and then the one page. What is it? It's a consensus protocol. If you don't know what a consensus is, or a census, whatever you want to name it as in your country. It's where you are literally counting people, where you've got a load of things on one thing. People, blockchain, easy, manageable, data, all that good stuff. Now, uses design principles such as sharding, buzzword, and pipelining to parallelize transaction processing. This allows us to effectively handle connection latency, lag, and enable throughput to scale with the network size. So the bigger it gets, the better it will become, basically. Which is kind of like Bitcoin in a weird and wonderful way. Not so much it's faster, but the bigger it becomes, the more secure it becomes, okay? We've got systems, lean, mission-specific kernel to run our protocol to increase CPU performance. So this is based on performance. More people that is on it, the better it will become, the faster it will become, and obviously the more decentralized it will become. A lot of nods to different elements of blockchains in here, which is why I like it. I think it's pretty cool. Networking, we implement network engineering techniques, which basically makes it smarter, faster formation. Understanding the network topology allows us to run a high concurrent protocol. So basically, more elements it has, the more people it has, the more talking it has between each element, the better it will become. So Harmony is an open structure for 10 billion people in the future. So it's going to be developed for absolutely everything. That's why it's known as One. Harmony, One as the ticker. It's going to be for everything. It's like a supercharged version of the world, essentially, but on one big blockchain, which is pretty unique as it stands. And that's why I said at the start, it's quite risky when you think, what purpose has it got? I'm a big advocate of payment solutions. I think payment solutions is a genuine use case. Like, yeah, everyone's going to use cryptocurrency to pay for something eventually. But when you look at stuff like some of the blockchains, like OneChain, it's like, is it going to take off? Icon, is it going to take off? You know, Tronex, is it going to, you know, there's always that doubt in your mind thinking, will people use it? I think people will genuinely have to use this when there's a use case for it. I think people will venture to this, okay? Because you've got to think how many companies, how many people, how many different sort of elements of the world, music, video, computing data, automobiles, people data, personal data, all that good stuff. Where they're going to go? Well, they're going to go to something that accepts them. You've got one blockchain here that could accept everything, which is kind of interesting, which is why I'm a little bit on the fence in terms of will it take off to the moon or not. We don't know until we try, but it's a lot better than some of the blockchains out there that are just made for like what. Like I was reading yesterday about Mingle Chain or something. It's like a blockchain for social media. For me, doesn't quite tickle my fancy, but this is different on the other hand. So, other things that it has and you need to be aware of. How does it differ from other public blockchains? Basically, it's not so much caring about the transactions per second. It's more the number of nodes that participate in the decentralized network. We're taking a full stack approach, applying 10x innovations in networking systems and algorithms. So basically, it's going to stack single nodes on top of each other to make it faster and faster and faster without having a designed element of transactions per second. Other things, I'm not really going to talk too much about that. Harmony structure is basically to give decentralized applications, marketplaces, and all that throughput and decentralization, from gaming to decentralized exchanges, powered AI data systems, and other use cases. So it's a mishmash of everything. It's quite kind of interesting. Now, if I go to the home page, you'll see here it's an open structure, revolutionary high throughput, low latency, and low fees platform designed to power decentralized economies for the future. So this is basically a decentralized application protocol that could house the normal things, the normal stuff, the cool stuff that we all take for granted every single day, the stuff that you do not even realize that you do, all in one place, systemized, secure, and obviously immutable. Now, open infrastructure for world data, global scale market platform, and enabling decentralization and trustless economies. This is the sexy bit, the bit that I like. I'm in cryptocurrency, I like decentralization. I like the idea of no third party involvement. This is an answer to that use case. This is why I am excited about it. Simple as that. It's decentralization at scale. Our goal is to deliver scalable or scalability and decentralization. The promise of the blockchain is to enable decentralization and coordinate at scale, but no platform has yet to achieve both. Harmony aims to change that. This is why I like it. That little nugget there, it's like, cool. We have a purpose for a blockchain that is genuinely used by people. Decentralized applications. You can look at Ethereum, you can look at, I don't know, Neo, you can look at other decentralized applications. They don't do the same sort of thing as this. They don't house everyone. They house specific things. This could house absolutely everything. This could house how much bog roll you've got in your toilet. That is kind of how, simple it could become. Obviously, inventory, all of that good stuff. But it's a similar way to how Google does it in terms of the search infrastructure. We take a full stack approach. I already kind of mentioned that. But ultimately, as it gets layered and gets bigger, it will become faster, stronger, more efficient, essentially. Simple, really. So that is that. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the team because this kind of got my attention as well. You're starting to see this more and more with cryptocurrency. When I was starting to talk about cryptocurrency coins back in 2016-17, you didn't really get that. You didn't really get people leaving the likes of big social media giants or big companies like Microsoft, Apple to go into crypto. They're like, what? It never happened. When it did start to happen, other people followed. You obviously had people leaving Coinbase to join projects. You had other decentralized projects as well, branching out and partnershiping with other companies. And it's starting to get into the centralized systems now, where obviously Amazon as well. So these have a very good amount of infrastructure knowledge of how systems work, which is kind of element. All those three there are systems. Google's a system, Apple's systemized, Microsoft's systemized, so is Amazon. They all work on their own in their own systemized way. So they're very, very good. I'm not going to go over the team, it's going to bore the living hell out of you, but there is some fantastic people in here. There's some great experience as well. Check out their LinkedIn and stuff like that. Always look at experience. How long have they been working there? Make sure they're not an interim at Google. It's a bit of a lie, but these guys are pretty solid and watertight. Even when you look at the advisors, right? The advisors took me back a little bit because you've got Google Chrome, Google X, Android. This dude here obviously knows his stuff within Google. You've also got Microsoft and Alibaba Cloud, pretty big in that industry. I mean, I've not fully looked at her in terms of what she's done. Nothing really sticks out apart from the fact that, medical data, network analysis and other systemized science. It's all systemized, it's all based around systems. Decentralized systems are the future, I'm afraid to say. If you disagree with me, I don't care, but they are literally the future. Now, in terms of roadmap, this is where we get into the nitty-gritty of when to invest and why you should invest if you're looking for gains. This is a money-making industry. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but you want to buy a coin at the right time. When the developments are coming, when it's growing, when there's hype, when there's movability within the company itself, it's going to grow. I've already mentioned this. Look at time historic data of any chart. When Google started to release certain stuff, what happened with the price? It went up. What did Apple do with certain points when the iPhone came out? It went up in price. All these kind of big showcase developments to enable scalability or enable blockchains to go live or whatever, they create price movement and they create new support for certain coins as well, depending on what market, the way the market's going. So we are currently at the phase of launch, okay? Harmony just came out. We're here. White paper 2, testnet. We're here. Done. We are literally just approaching the end of this area, okay? And this is kind of where we are, okay? We've done that, we're here. We've launched, it's on the exchanges. I know it's a bit behind in terms of we're pretty much starting into like kind of that Q3 area, but there's stuff happening over time. I want to go through that in a second. But when you look at the long-term scalable solution of this, there's stuff happening. Support storage fee model. A fee model, an economic model is going to be going live. Obviously the dApps are going to come out, and then you got protocol changes, all the proofs and all that kind of good stuff that it'll go with. They're going to be helpful. But then you got support WebAssembly, complete the networking library, and then you obviously got support some of the clients. So it's going to be developing over time. Small little nuggets of information is going to keep dropping and feeding out, and you just got to look to see what is coming out soon. And this full mainnet launch and stuff like that is coming out very, very soon. Now, in terms of the one pager, read it. It's very, very easy and concise. You can go through all of this. Now, let me just have a little look as well. There's other progress here as well that is kind of showed off what's been happening. So we're still currently in testnet, and once mainnet happens, it'll be pretty full on. I think it'll start pumping up, and I think it already is when you look at the price. In terms of how it all works, in terms of how much supply, it's quite big. Initial supply is 24.3%, and the launch price was actually 0.0031. Wow, that's pretty crazy. It's grew quite a lot already when you look at the current price. Now, in terms of partnerships and all that good stuff, we're all here. Okay, check it out. Now, if you quickly go into CoinMarketCal, it's relatively straightforward to go onto this and just have a little look, see what developments have been shown on here. If you just put in keywords as one, I'm hoping it just comes up. We'll see. One, Harmony. So 1st of July or earlier is the mainnet launch. It's coming up very, very soon. So that could indicate that it could quite trend up quite nicely. So in terms of one, it's only just been literally added on the 5th of June. So this is kind of what's potentially going to happen. Now, we need to validate and verify to see if this is actually going to be true. Let's have a look at the proof. Admin, there we go. Launch in 25 days. So how many guys? Check it out. There's a mainnet launch in 25 days. I would imagine this is going to start pumping up and keep going now. I've said the same with Matic, okay? I'm going to talk about other IEOs now. Matic is an example, okay? Why? Every single IEO pumped to the moon. This is going to go again, okay? Just not financial advice, but mainnet and stuff like that. They've got Plasma and mainnet launch coming up between the next 2 months. They've already been approved and verified on their website and stuff like that. That is a big deal. Now, when you look at other IEOs that have came out on Binance, it's relatively straightforward. They tend to do very well. Matic done very, very well. It's retraced perfectly, and now it's starting to trend up again. If you look at the like of FET, another one as well, which literally, you know, was quite far. It was one of the first ones. It pumped, it came back down, but it's starting to pump up again. It's starting to get a bit more interest. But every single one had a surprise little hello, bang, out of the blocks. And you've just got to look at each one. You look at BitTorrent. If I can put it in right, my apologies. What is it? BTT. There we go. BitTorrent. Again, BitTorrent flew out the blocks as usual. I'll remove all that. You know, there's a trend here, and I'm hoping you're seeing this. Obviously, you've got to be careful. Do not buy at the wrong time. Always buy at the right time. Look, do a bit of TA and have a little look and sell your network. This was the one that didn't really do it from the start. This was like one of the first or the second ones. This pumped, rejected, and then caught people out. Obviously, the daily time frame. Let's look at the 4 hour at the start of this bad boy. But you can see here, it pumped out the gate and off it went back down. But it's starting to show a bit of life now. Nice bit of life. So there's plenty of hype and interaction with these coins. So please do check them out. So I hope that this video has helped. Obviously, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell button, check out other videos that YouTube are kind of telling you to go on to, and ultimately do your own research. But for me, Harmony 25 days mainnet launch is coming. I think it could trend up quite nicely at a relatively cheap price, and obviously it's already done pretty much a 10x already at the current price, which is pretty crazy. Could go even further if I'm going to be totally honest with you. Another 10x from here, possible. It could quite happen.